What's up, you guys? Chance here. Back with another video going over my trades for today and how everything turned out. It was an okay day. I started out really hot and then I got a little bit greedy just because of yesterday. I only made like 40 bucks yesterday, and so I kind of wanted to make up for that. And that greed kind of made me lose a couple trades, which, I mean, it happens. But in hindsight, I wish I would have stopped trading after the first three trades, but you'll see what goes on throughout this live trade recap. So this is the first trade right here. As you can see, we got this downwards facing channel going down, and the market had sold off really hard in the first 5 minutes. I mean, it was down. Let's see, open was off over here somewhere, so it was already down like 50 points right here. And it was about 8:37 trade, and I saw this bounce off of this midline, and this midline is holding pretty good as resistance. So let's see how this plays out. And I go ahead and put a short in just below that green candle because I was pretty confident in this trade. It was looking good. And there are trade triggers, and so there's our first and our second. I was in the process of moving first my stop. I always move my stop down first, and then I move that one had a runner in it, so I would move the take profit of the second target down further, but I just didn't have time to do it. It all triggered real quick, but it was a quick, easy 260 bucks right there, so that was a good first trade. Alright, so this is the price action leading up to my second trade of the day. As you can see, I have my short in there just below this green candle, and we are at a level of support that's a pretty big support level on the 30-minute time frame, or the 2-hour time frame actually. And so I was wanting to get short below that, and this is definitely kind of against my rules. It got me yesterday, but again, in the moment it's hard for me to control this. I really need to get better at it, but that's okay. So our trade triggers right there. I go ahead and move my stop above that candle, and then I'm watching this trade, and I definitely get nervous right there pretty much right away. So you can see me moving up my take profits to just below that wick. So there you go. So I got out of that trade, made about $90 right there. Really and truly, I could have kept my initial position, and they both my profit targets would have been hit. So it would have been okay. It would have all worked out. But it was against my rules. I shouldn't have taken the trade. I just got lucky that it worked out. So. Alright, so this is the price action just before my third trade. So I go ahead and enter in a short right there, and that candle finishes, and I put my order right there, and it triggers right away as soon as I move back up. So you can see me moving my stop, and then there you go. Our first profit target is hit, and then our second is hit right there. So that was a really quick trade. It's 8:49 at this point, and you can see right here that I'm at $605 gross on the day. And my profit goal for the day is $500. So I should have been done after this, but in my mind, I was sitting there. I was feeling good. I'd only been trading for 20 minutes, and I was wanting to see if I get a little bit more, and that usually spells for bad news whenever you try and do that. So we'll see what happens coming up. Okay, so here is my third trade of the day, and as you can see, we had made this low right here, and then we come up and we broke this channel, and we retested that resistance level, and then we sold off. So in my mind, I was thinking we were going to sell off even further. And what we had gotten right here was a break above this candle, and then actually what happened is it broke below first, came up, broke above that candle, but it didn't rocket up, so I wasn't thinking that there was a lot of people that had entered right there, so then I was thinking that this short was going to be a valid short. So I go ahead and I put my sell stop right there. And then it triggers right there, and so I was pretty excited that it rocketed down pretty fast like that, but it definitely is a trade that doesn't work out. Just to spoil it for y'all, sorry. And I was still kind of hopeful in this because it was going back down in the moment, but I should have known that since this was holding as resistant or a support on these three candles or these two previous candles, I should have known to not try to go short below that. But and you can see there, I'm moving up my profit targets just to try and get out of the trade, and there we go. So it hits our stop loss, and we're down to $45 gross profit on the day. So kind of a rough little setback, but that's okay. And that's what greed can do to you. The markets are very humbling. All right, so this is the price action leading into my fourth trade, and it is just after that third trade that I'm seeing this, and we broke above the EMA, and then this candle right here went down and tested the EMA, and it was bouncing really hard up. So I was thinking that the market still wanted to keep going, so I went ahead and entered right there. And again, this is going into this resistance level, which is against my rules. It was a trade that I shouldn't have taken, but I was kind of upset that I had lost this trade before. Emotions got the best of me, and I wanted to kind of revenge trade and make up for it. And so you see I moved my stop to its rightful position right there. And then I'm moving my profit targets down smaller so that way I can just get out of the trade, because I was thinking that I was going to try and reverse again off of that resistance level. And there we go. So we're out of the trade. So made 60 bucks on that trade. And what's definitely humbling about this is, even though the fact that I shouldn't have taken it, if I would have let it stay, the market ended up rallying an insane amount. It ended up going up another 70 points right there. So if I would have kept the runner and used my strategy for how I manage my runners, I probably would have been stopped out probably on this candle right here, because I usually follow two candles backwards. But you know, can't win them all. Alright, so here is the price action leading up to my next trade, and as you can see, we had hit the top of that channel and we were selling off, and just based on how strong this trend was, I knew that it wasn't over. Whenever trends are that strong, there's going to be so much buying pressure that any kind of pullback is going to be bought up. As you can see right here, this pullback was bought up, this pullback was bought up, and so I was looking to get in long again, and there was enough room to get out before the top of the channel, because I only go for 5 points and there's like a 8-point gap right there. And so I missed the initial break, and then I go ahead and I go again. There we go. So I got filled right there. And I go ahead and I move my stop down as always. Got to do that. There we go. And so you see my stop moved up on its own with my at the money strategy. It does that. And then it's going up, and I see it hit the top of the channel. So I go ahead and move my take profit down, because I thought we were just going to reverse, which we end up doing anyways. So I just try and get out of the trade. There we go. So I'm at 300 bucks now and making back what I'd lost earlier, and so we're not doing too bad. Okay, so here's my next trade, and again, same thought process. Basically, any pullback is going to be bought up, and so I have my entry just above this candle, because that's where a lot of stops are going to be. Whenever you think about people entering short right there, they're going to put their stops above this candle. So that's where I want to get into the market whenever their stops are being triggered. And I changed my at the money strategy to just scalp out 2 contracts, so that way I go for $200 rather than 100, and then my next profit for the runner is at like 160. So I just wanted to get out of both contracts real quick because we were at the top of the channel. So and there we go. So we got out of that trade. We're at 500 gross on the day. Our profit's at 500 on the day. Our net is 448. I don't know if you saw it right there. So really and truly, I was at my profit target again for the second time today. And again, greed started playing a part in my trading, and I wanted to get more. So I do take a few more trades on the day, and we'll see how they play out here. So this is leading up to my next trade, and as you can see, we had this little trap right here and shot up, and that was a 5 or 6 point move right there, so it would have worked out for my strategy. Sometimes with channels, whenever you get traps at the support or resistance of channel, you'll get a very nice break. I've noticed that happens quite a lot with the Nasdaq. And so we had gotten this first one right here, and then I was thinking, since this trend is so strong, that it was just gonna keep rocketing up. So I was like, okay, I want to get in the market and be in the market for this break of this channel. And again, it's probably right about maybe like 50% of the time, but the chance of making a lot of profit on it is very high because usually it's just gonna rocket up. And so I wanted to be in for that, and we'll see what happens on this trade. There we go. So we're in our trade, got triggered, moved my stop down, and then basically that was as high as it goes. It doesn't go any higher than that. It ends up being a loser. I think it trades here pretty quickly and stops me out. But oh no, actually this one I closed early because I knew that it was just going to stop me out, and I didn't want to lose that much money. So I think I close it here shortly. There we go. So I just exited that trade early. I felt it was better to get out than get out early and not lose all the money that I had just worked back to make. So there goes again. Greed's getting me again. Back to 120 gross profit on the day. Probably like 80 net, and so it happens. Okay, so this is the price action leading up to my next trade, and we had sold off down to the midline, and we had this break below this candle, and I knew that the midline wanted to hold up because there had been no test of it, and the trend was so strong as well. So I went ahead and got in right there, and I switched back to the runner strategy because I wanted to make this go up to the top of the channel, my second profit target to the top of the channel, just to catch more of the move. So our first target got hit, and then it had just ticked just high enough to hit our target, but it didn't tick to the 21st tick to move our stop loss up automatically. So that's why I had to move it up manually. But there we go, won that trade. So now we're at 220 on the day, 153 net. Okay, and it's literally like 30 seconds later after that last trade. And so this is going into that. And what I'm looking at here is I still think this midline wants to hold up. I just think I had gotten in just a hair early. And so we get this break below that wick right there. And so I wanted to get long above that just because you could see how fast that rocketed up. There we go. So we're in the trade now. And you can see I moved my second profit target up to the end of the channel because that was where I really wanted to ride this trade out to, was the end of the channel. There we go. So that was the last trade of the day, I believe, right there. Brought our gross P&L to 330 and our net down to about 256. Both times, at 2 points in the day, I was higher than that with my net P&L. After my first three trades, I was at like 590. After my first 5-6 trades, I was at like 480. And then now I'm at 256. So learning lesson today was to not get greedy, and when I hit my profit target, to stop. At some point, I do want to get to where my profit target is higher and I trade longer throughout the day. I just have to be able to work up to that. And it'll eventually happen, but that's all good. So as you can see, after the day, after all the trades, our gross P&L was 330. Our net P&L after commissions was 756. Our win percentage on the day was 77.78. Our losing was 16.67, and I scratched one trade, so I was break even on one trade, is basically what that means. And it was an okay day. It was better than yesterday, that's for sure. I just need to work on being a little bit more precise, and I need to work on the greed part. So there we go, guys. Thanks again for watching the video. And if you like this kind of content, then go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe, hit the bell notification if you want to, so that you get notified whenever I post videos. Like I said, I'll be posting videos of my trades every single day, and then I will post one on the weekend that kind of goes over just like personal finance. It's in the personal finance niche. Just little tips and tricks to fix your spending habits or save money, different stuff like that. And eventually I will have a section on stocks where I'm analyzing stocks. That'll be a little bit further down the road just because that does take a lot of time. There's a lot of effort that goes into that. But it'll eventually come out. Again, thanks for watching the video, and everybody have a great day.